Why would someone do this? On the most important day of my life, I opened my eyes to a strange chill on my scalp. A coldness that didn't belong. My hands instinctively reached for my head and froze. No curls, no waves, just uneven patches of stubble. My breath caught in my throat. This couldn't be happening. Not today. Not today. My son was getting married in a few hours, and his mother, was bald. I stumbled out of bed and dragged myself to the mirror. What I saw shattered me. My reflection looked like someone who had just escaped a nightmare. My silver hair, once my pride, was gone. Not shaved clean, but hacked, butchered, violated. The jagged edges told a story. A cruel one, who hated me enough to do this while I slept. And why now? I closed my eyes, searching for clarity, and one name surfaced like poison in my throat. Bellamy, my daughter-in-law, Marty's wife. She always masked her disdain behind smiles, too sweet to be real. But this was war. I'd spent weeks preparing for today, hair treatments, a new dress, even makeup tutorials on YouTube. I just wanted to feel beautiful, to stand with grace beside my son. But someone decided I shouldn't. Someone decided I needed to be erased, and Bellamy, she'd made it clear who the star of the show should be. Her mother, Wyford, elegant, wealthy, icy. I wasn't supposed to compete. I was supposed to disappear. And now, I had. Would my own son believe me? Or was I just a burden he was too polite to admit? My fingers trembled as I dialed Marty. He answered with sleepy confusion. Marty, I whispered. Your wife. She cut off my hair. Silence, then disbelief. Mom, are you sure you didn't do this to yourself? That broke me more than the mirror ever could. He thought I'd imagined it. That I was spiraling, that maybe I had finally gone mad. I could hear Bellamy in the background giggling. And when they finally came over, she walked in with wide eyes and a hand to her chest. Oh my God, pet, what happened? Her voice was trembling. Not with guilt, with control. She was acting. How do you scream the truth when everyone's already chosen who to believe? She offered fake sympathy, even tears, and Marty. He bought every second. Mom, please don't ruin today. We're all stressed, just ... Don't make this harder. He didn't even look at me. Not really. My voice cracked, but I still asked, do you honestly think I did this to myself? On your wedding day, he didn't answer. He didn't need to. His silence said everything. When did I stop being his mother? And start being an inconvenience? I felt invisible. Not a victim, not even a person. Just a problem. Something to move aside, cover up, and forget. I stood there in my own home, disrespected, dismissed, discarded. But they didn't know one thing. Beneath the ruin, beneath the humiliation, beneath the silence, I was still me. And if Bellamy thought this was over, she hadn't even seen what I was truly capable of. How do you watch your own child celebrate while pretending you don't exist? The wedding hall was bursting with lights, laughter, and the smell of expensive flowers, but I was a shadow, dressed in a dull blue suit that didn't match anything. A synthetic wig stuck to my scalp like a lie I couldn't wash off. It itched. It burned. Just like their silence did. Marty walked past me twice and didn't even stop. Didn't even smile. I was just another old woman in the crowd now, not the mother who raised him. I watched him stand at the altar, holding Bellamy's hand with eyes full of hope. Hope for her. Trust in her. While I sat, 3 rows back, alone. They said it was to help the photographers. But I knew the truth. Bellamy didn't want me in the frame. Not her husband's bald mother in a crooked wig. That didn't fit her perfect Instagram life. What kind of woman plans her wedding around hiding someone else's pain? Wyford was glowing in the front row, hair pinned perfectly, satin dress pressed, pearls shimmering. She smiled like she owned the world. And maybe she did. She had Bellamy. She had Marty. She had everyone's attention. She even had the seat that should have been mine. I glanced sideways at the guests, hoping one, just one, would look at me with warmth, but no one did. And why would they? To them, I was the quiet, poor mother. The one who wore off-brand shoes and didn't speak much. They didn't know I owned $2 million. They didn't know I could buy and sell everything in that hall. But I remembered Charlotte's words again. Let them show you their real faces before they know your real worth. And they did. Every single one of them, especially Marty. When did I become someone he had to apologize for? I tried to smile, as they exchanged vows. But the moment Marty said, "I've found my home with you," something inside me broke. Home. What was I then? Just the old place he left behind. The drafty house with worn carpets and a mother who loved too loudly. After the ceremony, I waited near the exit, not to hug him, not to cry, just to see if he'd come to me first or last. And guess what? He walked right past me again. And Bellamy, she looked me dead in the eyes, and smiled. Not warmly, not kindly, but victoriously. What do you do when the villain wins? And everyone claps. I stood still. The lights around me blurred, my chest tightened, my knees shook, but I didn't fall. I wouldn't, not yet, because they all thought I was done. They all thought I'd stay quiet. But what they didn't know was that I still had the power to destroy everything they'd built. And I had just taken the first breath of a very slow revenge. What do you do when the people you raised erase you from their story? The wedding was over. The claps had faded, but the sting, that stayed. I sat alone at the reception, pushed to the last table, like some distant relative. Marty gave a long, warm speech. He called Bellamy's father a guide, her mother a queen, and Wyford an angel. But me? Not even a mention. Not a smile. Not a thank you. The room laughed, glasses clinked, and I sat there, swallowing a scream. Why did it hurt more that he didn't forget me, but chose to leave me out? I went home that night, tore off the wig, and looked at myself in the mirror. Bald, betrayed, burning. I didn't cry. I just stared until the woman in the mirror stopped looking like a victim and started looking like a weapon. I picked up the will folder that had sat untouched for years, the one that said Marty would inherit everything. I took a pen and rewrote history. He was out. No more estate. No more savings. No more shares. What happens when the mother who gave you everything finally takes it all back? Instead, I created a scholarship in the name of my late grandmother for single mothers in nursing school, women who stayed up through the night, cooking and crying, feeding others while starving themselves of love. My people. 2 days later, I called a realtor. Sold the house I built with bare hands. The walls still smelled like Marty's childhood, but I didn't flinch. Portland. That's where I went. New city. New silence. A place where no one knew my name, so I could finally choose who I wanted to be. Months passed. My phone buzzed, rang, screamed, but I never picked up. Then came the letter. Mom, I messed up. I didn't see it. Bellamy confessed. She admitted everything. But I failed you. I don't know if you'll forgive me. I read it twice. Not because I was touched, but because for the first time, he sounded like my son again. I picked up a pen and wrote, Marty, I didn't vanish because of Bellamy. I left because you stood there and watched me disappear. I don't want your apology. I want you to grow. If one day you want me back, come find me. But not as the mom you silenced. As the woman who finally remembered who she was, I sealed the envelope. Walked to the riverfront in Portland, wind blowing through nothing because I was bald, bold, and completely free. What if disappearing was the only way to finally be seen? If you felt this story, drop A in the comments. Let me know what you would have done if you were in her place. And don't forget subscribe for more intense, raw stories like this. Because somewhere out there, a mother is finally writing her own ending.